Hello and welcome to Informed Entrepreneur Magazine. My name is Mike Baumstark. I'm a small business owner myself, and today I'm interviewing Andrea McGimsey of Oatlands Incorporated. Welcome.
Hi, thank
you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Now, Oatlands is a very unique property. It is a nonprofit organization, and it is beautiful. And as you know, a nonprofit organization is a business itself, but is handled differently by the tax code. Sometimes I wish I could handle my business differently by the tax code, frankly. But we're going to interview Andrea today, and we're going to ask her some questions about Oatlands. And then during the video, you're going to see some beautiful scenes because we are walking the property at the end of the video, and you get a chance to see how beautiful this place is. So let's start out with where did you come from originally, and how did you wind up in this place and working at this organization?
Well, I'm a native of this area, and I grew up coming out to the horse country to enjoy the beautiful landscape and to go hiking and have fun with my family. Excellent. I was very fortunate to have parents like that. And so I just grew to really value the Northern Virginia and Virginia countryside.
Beautiful.
And when I moved to Loudoun County, I worked for America Online, so it's in corporate America. And I moved out here and I wanted to explore the countryside, and I discovered Oatlands and I fell in love. Wow,
fantastic. Now, for a while you volunteered at Oatlands, correct?
Right.
And you got to love the place more and more. And then at some point a position opened up. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm the executive director, and the previous executive director had gone on to another historic property. And this was big news because everybody loves Oatlands, so we always end up in the newspaper. And I read in the newspaper that David was leaving, and I contacted the board of directors and said I was interested.
Wow, interesting. And did they interview you and a bunch of people, or did they say, wow, you're a perfect match? How did that work out?
It was actually a nationwide search.
Wow.
This is a national property. It's the National Trust for Historic Preservation that actually owns it. So it's a very prominent property, and they wanted to have a great executive director.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I was really honored when they picked me.
Awesome. So you obviously impressed a bunch of people, and they thought you were the right person for the job. How long have you been at the job now?
I've been here 2.5 years.
Okay, so it must be going well, I would say. Now, what is Oatlands actually? Just describe what this place is.
Well, it's an old historic farm that's been part of this community since the colonial times. Actually, it belonged to the Carter family, the famous family. The first person was called King Carter. He owned hundreds of thousands of acres in Virginia. And as it went through the generations, eventually his great-grandson built the mansion that we're sitting in. At that time, it was part of the Virginia economy. It was a large slaveholding plantation. And after the war, it ended up, of course they fell on hard economic times because they had lost their labor. And so eventually it became, it went on the market. And a very prominent Washington, D.C. family bought it and lived here. They were the second family that lived here. They were preservationists. So what you see is mostly what was there during the Carter era. So it's a beautifully preserved Virginia farm with centuries of Virginia history, the good and the bad, and it's an important site where people can come and learn about our history, and also where they can enjoy life, because I will tell you, this is the prettiest place in Northern Virginia.
Wow, beautiful.
It's 360 acres. It's the historic core. We have 24 historic structures, beautiful mansion. We have a 4.5-acre formal terraced garden that's walled, that is just gorgeous and very serene. And then we have fields you can go walking in. We have a carriage house with a wonderful gift shop where you can come and have a formal tea in the afternoon. It's just a wonderful place to come and enjoy life.
Wow, sounds like a great place to be in charge of, frankly. So for years, I've been driving an hour and a half to 2 hours to go to some historical, Civil War era place like Gettysburg or Appomattox or other places. Where's the place at the Civil War resignation? That was Appomattox, I guess, Appomattox Courthouse. And right up the road from us is a place with a ton of history. I didn't actually know that. So for those of you that are watching and are history buffs and you're anywhere in Northern Virginia, I mean, this is certainly a place you want to look into, and we will have some information at the end of the video. Now let's talk about for a minute the fact that you are in some ways a small business owner in your position, okay? So describe the business side of Oatlands from your perspective, including employees and how that all kind of works.
Okay. Well, we have about 35 employees, so we're a classic small business. About 10 of them are full-time year-round. The rest are seasonal, some are full-time, a lot of part-time. And we run this place. We are a nonprofit, so we are dependent on donations from the community. We do have an endowment that pays for part of our operating budget, but most of it we have to raise. So we also do things such as rent out the property for weddings.
Okay.
People love to get married here. We have our teas. We do a lot of events to try to bring the public in.
Okay.
And also it helps raise funds so that we can preserve this place. And all of the money goes back into programming for the public, such as you just saw some wonderful educational programs
Yes.
going on here today.
Yes.
Or to preserve, for instance, keeping a place like this mansion up is, it takes quite a bit of money.
Yes.
So we reinvest everything into either programming or the staff that runs this place or into the buildings.
Yes, so a nonprofit would be, at the end of the year, there is no net profit in a nonprofit, essentially. So it all goes toward plowing back in the organization or taking care of those who care for the place, that sort of thing. We are, by the way, sitting in the mansion, which you will see an image of on the video after we get through with the interview. We'll show you some shots on the exterior. It's quite a beautiful place. One of the shots you'll see in the video is of a barn sitting back in a field, and Andrea is going to share with us what the plan is for that.
Well, in our master plan for the property, the complex of barns down there, right now it's pretty much our maintenance area, and you really wouldn't want to spend much time in the barns. The big barn that you have a shot of is a really wonderful structure, and it's large, and it's a large open space where we could, in the future, have theater, music, parties, corporate retreats. It's just a wonderful structure. And in a historic area like this, you're not allowed to just put up any building. You have to keep it to the nature of what it was historically. So having an opportunity to take a barn like that, where we have the envelope already there, and turn it into, repurpose it for something that will bring in more of the community, and also, frankly, create revenue streams that are going to allow us to keep up the rest of the property, is a real opportunity. So that's one of the things we're definitely looking at, sometime in the near future to get going. This year, we're actually going to be fixing the outside of it. We've got the funds to do that.
So maybe in 2014 you might have it up and operating, perhaps.
Can't give you a date yet. We don't have specific plans to that.
Depends on the
but
funding,
we do. Just recently, a major donor told me that she's interested in helping us. So
fantastic.
We'll see.
That's excellent.
Hopefully soon.
Now your website is www what?
www.oatlands, and that's OATLANDS.org.
Okay, and you will have events on that website, what's going on, as well as directions or how to contact you, that sort of thing.
Correct, and I didn't talk much about the events. We have events going on for all age groups from all year round, really. I mean, everything from magic shows to this weekend we're going to have vintage baseball, which is baseball that was played according to the rules from the 1860s, so no gloves. We have a harvest festival that's so much fun. We have a country band, and we have pumpkin painting, and we do a pie auction, and it's just wholesome fun for the whole family. That's a really awesome day. We have more elegant parties. We're going to be doing a Roaring 20s party, kind of Great Gatsby era. That's going to be amazing on the front lawn of the mansion.
Yes.
We're also doing a celebrity chef dinner that night in the back of the mansion. So we just, we really try to bring this place alive, bring the community in, and so they can learn history and, as I said, enjoy life, because this really is just a fabulous place. It's so beautiful.
Wonderful. I heard it mentioned by another person that you have something called Conversations on a weekend night. Would you tell me about that?
Sure, it's called Conversations at Oatlands,
Okay.
and it's a group of people that come. They're a partner of ours, actually. It actually started as an Oatlands program, and then a group took it over, and they have speakers come in who speak on interesting subjects, and everybody mingles and has a glass of wine together, and that's basically Conversations at Oatlands. It did start with one of the very large supporters of this place in the early days of it being a public site, and I think was a bit more intimate, and it was about fundraising for the property.
I see.
And I will say that because we're dependent on the community to support this place, pretty much everything we do, we're always asking people to become a member of Oatlands,
Okay.
which we call Friend of Oatlands,
Okay.
and to get involved with the property.
So the people that come to the Conversations, are they friends or members of Oatlands?
Many of them are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
they rent the property. That's one thing I wanted to explain. This property is available for rental. For
Okay.
example, in July, we're actually going to have a very large corporation renting the entire place for the day,
wow.
which is really tremendous for us. And they're going to have a wonderful corporate picnic and tours of the mansion, and their company's really going to get to spend a day in Virginia historic beauty.
Wow. And will they have like sessions in parts of the mansion, or is it just all picnics and fun and parties all day?
We're still in the planning
Okay.
stages with
But
it.
they could have some presentations in parts of the mansion or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun
There's
or work
places.
related.
Yeah, there's places. We have a lot of different venues here, so you can do anything from, say, a baby shower, with a private tea or just a little party, to a huge corporate picnic. It's everything in between. The other thing that corporations can do, our fellow businesses can come here and enjoy things such as our horse races. That's a great day to come. And of course, those who become more involved with Oatlands, for instance, our board of directors, we also do a lot of special events for them. The mansion is available for rental. We've had weddings in here. In fact, the family, one of the daughters got married right in this room. And so we've had weddings in here. We had the most wonderful party here this spring. It was a Jane Austen era party. So we had dancers and people dressed in that period costume, or it wasn't costume, they actually sew them like they're from that period. And it was magical. It was so fun. We also do paranormal tours. A lot of young people really enjoy the paranormal
Scary tours.
The ghosts. People have had experiences on this property, and so we talk about that. We've actually had investigations. And,
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And we have recordings. It's quite interesting. So there's all kinds of things to do here for our fellow businesses and fellow citizens, and I hope more people will drive in and discover this amazing place.
Yes.
We're right on Route 15.
Fantastic.
We're very easy to get to.
Yeah, it's a beautiful grove of trees on 15, and then there's the sign Oatlands. If you go a little further, you're in Leesburg, essentially, if you're coming from Route 66. So in closing, what are some things you're hoping to do with this place while you're here as director?
Well, one of my biggest goals is to get that barn area up and running for the public, because it's got tremendous potential for the community. I would like to bring in more arts. We're going to have music in the mansion, a violinist, because this is the kind of chamber where that music was written for a room like this. And I just want to do anything that my team can manage to bring the public in, because as I said, I came here and I fell in love with this place, and I feel like we've slept a little bit through the growth of the county. We are one of the fastest growing counties in the nation, and I want all those people in the DC region to come out here and get to enjoy this place, because it's a national treasure in our backyard.
Yes.
And I want them to discover it.
Fantastic. About how many people, Andrea, visit this property a year?
Well, we have 10,000 people that tour the mansion and the garden.
Okay.
And then we have an additional 30,000 or so that come for the events that we do here during the year.
Well, that's pretty good. It's a large crowd. Of course, you'd like it to be 100,000. Could you handle 100,000 a year?
Yeah, we probably could.
Okay,
Yes,
a few more staff people perhaps would.
yes,
would be
definitely
needed,
some
right?
more staff.
And then
people.
you'd have to work more than 80 hours a week probably to get it done.
Perhaps, yes, but it's worth it.
Andrea, I've enjoyed interviewing you very much.
Thank you.
And we hope you enjoyed this interview and the video that will show the property. Please enjoy. And if you want to get a hold of Andrea, the information will be on the credits. And thank you for joining us.